I'm going to be a first-generation graduate if everything goes as planned. So I became a teacher, like I mentioned. A lot of people say because it's an easy route, like, oh, 4 years, it's easy, not too complicated. So for them, I'm expecting them to be like something bigger, like a doctor, a lawyer. Like, you have no excuses. If I could do it, I'm going to be more prepared than my parents were. So I'm expecting a little bit more from you guys.
The education system drives American life. At some points in their careers, most individuals with a degree will do some form of teaching. The majority of our taxes go towards public schools, and we equate education with success, and we have the expectation that every generation should do better than the last.
Like, it's more difficult to get into school, to graduate, and if you have kids like I do, I didn't finish my senior year, so it got more difficult because of my son, and then you have to pay daycare. You don't have money to pay daycare now. You have to pay school, you have to get GED classes in community college, and you have to pay those. Financial aid doesn't pay those for you. So it's very different.
I wish that I would have went to school. I had all the opportunities, but I just kind of turned them down. I want her to have some of the things that I never had. Like, I want her to get a college education. I want her to just make me proud, you know?
I am a parent.
Yes.
Of 2 children, a boy and a girl. They're both attending college, high school. Education is the key to their success. Life experiences is also education.
I just work, basically. I'd rather go to work than go to school.
How do you feel about it now?
Now I wish I went through all the education.
And what expectations do you have for your son?
For my son, college, for sure.
Why? Why?
He turned out very smart. Right now he's in the high school college program, so he's doing real good.
Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I have a little girl.
And what education expectations do you have for your kids?
I actually would hope she accomplishes more than me. My major is to be a registered nurse. I would like for her to be a doctor.
Wow. So you want her to go a step further?
I want her to exceed, of course. Every generation has to do better.
Both my parents, my mother was in education for all of her life. She was an education administrator. She worked in the chancellor's office back in New York. My father himself got his GED. He was a very hard worker, very dedicated, but he instilled that knowledge into me and that hard drive and that work to be a better person.
Well, my parents encouraged me to just keep at it in school, and as long as I keep going to school, they'll support me. But as soon as I get out, they'll feel very discouraged. So they're very supportive about me being in college and just really striving to make something of myself. They came from Juarez, and the degrees they got over there are nothing over here. So they're really hoping that I can be more than they could have ever been.
Ever since I was a little kid, it was kind of expected by my family that I would go to college. Both my parents have master's degrees. Even my grandparents have bachelor's degrees. And everyone in my family basically are all educators. So it was kind of expected in my family that I would go to college.
And do you have any children?
Yes, I do.
And what are your expectations for them as far as education?
At least a bachelor's.
At least.
That's my expectations.
Okay.
Are you glad that you decided to go to college?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it caused me to mature a lot more as a person. I think I've grown a lot more, and I think I've learned a lot of skills that have helped me so far.
So I was just expected to, and I never really thought about doing anything else. Yes, I love college, and I think it's important to have a college education and have a degree.
One reason why I chose to go to college was because a lot of my family they have degrees, they're lawyers or engineers or whatever, and they stress the importance of going to college, getting an education, and making something more of myself.
I owe a lot of money. Might not have a good career after I graduate. Those are personal problems, but as far as the amount that I've learned and the amount that I enjoy learning and the things that have been opened up to me, those are irreplaceable. And my education is really important to me, with everything else aside. I mean, if I had no money and no nothing, I'd still have an education, and so that's a good thing.
The defining factor was honestly the need to know more, the fact that there's so much more that I don't know. I was late teens and I thought I knew everything, and then I opened a book and realized I knew a lot less than I gave myself credit for.
As college tuition continues to rise, so does the difficulty of finding long-term employment. For many people, this seemingly frightening fact is a secondary concern. Education is valuable for its own sake, and it is worth some sacrifice. For many parents and students, a college education is worth the effort.